Hey everybody, this is Allison from Thriving While Disabled, and I wanted to talk to you today about something slightly different. I refer to it as a somebody else's problem field. And this is meant in a lighthearted and positive way. When I'm talking about a somebody else's problem field, what I mean is setting things up so that people who have no comprehension of your condition or of what's going on don't interfere in a unhelpful or negative way. And for me, the issue is when my movement symptoms kick up, I have people who don't understand disability or seizures or any of it decide that I'm having a seizure and decide that they have to rescue me from this. Now, none of this is true. All I need is to be left alone. I'm not having a seizure. I'm aware of everything that's going on, and I have some degree of control. What I can't do is stop my symptoms. And apparently sometimes I look like I'm in pain too, which doesn't help. So what I found is I feel safest when I'm going someplace with a friend or am meeting a friend someplace, especially if it's someplace that's likely to set off symptoms. So like for me, crowded spaces, loud spaces, places where there's a lot of emotional energy, things like that. Usually those three go together. But spaces like that will set me off pretty easily. And so what I look for is to make sure that if I'm going to any of those spaces, I've got somebody with me that will basically convince everybody else to leave me alone unless that person signals them to come in. So like a lot of times, because I mean, think about it, when you go out somewhere and you see two people sitting together at a table, or you see a group of people together, if somebody within that group appears to have a problem, you look to the people by them for a signal. So if two people are sitting at a table and one of them starts appearing to have problems, you're not likely to go up to them if the other person seems to have it in hand, whether that's, getting, some form of help or handing them a glass of water or whatever. But if it looks like the person with them is calm, you generally leave them alone. And I'm using that to my advantage. So like a lot of times Al and I will go places. So that's like built in, super easy. I'm with him. If I seem to have any problems, they look to him for signals. And he's just like, yeah, no, it's fine. Don't worry. She's okay. And then a little while later, I'm okay. And I tell them, yeah, thanks. It's okay. So that kind of thing. But like when I go up to see friends in the city, for example, I plan to meet up with them most of the time before whatever the event is that's likely to get me symptomatic. So like, let's meet up at Penn Station and then we'll walk over to the event together. Or, let's meet up in this area of the park and then go over to where the thing is. So that I have them by me as I walk in. And sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm feeling good enough and I just meet up with them there, or I meet up with them late, so I just go there. But I know that I have them waiting there for me, so I don't have to give a big explanation just to help me get to my friends over there. You know what I mean? And what I find is that lets me feel a lot safer because I've got them beside me, and they're people who know enough about my condition to be able to, help me get through be there with me through the worst of it so nobody else makes any bad assumptions. I actually also use this if I'm doing something that I think might set off symptoms, or if I'm having a bad symptom day. I'll make a point of, when I'm riding the train, for example, sitting near somebody and getting into a conversation with them early on. Well, I am low on symptoms or my symptoms are under pretty good control, and have a conversation with them, which calms me down, but also means that they have a better sense of kind of knowing me. And so if I get symptomatic on the train, enough that somebody might get concerned, they're ready to hear the story from me, and everybody else goes, oh, they've got it. Again, it's something I found a really useful tool, because, I mean, they refer to it sometimes in the opposite as the bystander effect. Basically, if somebody's in trouble, the more people who are there, the less likely it is that any one of them will do something useful. Simply because everybody thinks and expects and assumes somebody else can better handle the situation. Where if there's very few people involved, the person is more likely to get help, because whoever's there feels that urgency of, I've got to do something. So what I do is I use that in reverse. I make sure that I've got a companion, so everybody assumes that if something needs to happen, my companion's going to do something. And it really, I've gone through periods of anxiety because I've had a couple of times that people have made really unfortunate assumptions. I've had people call for EMS because I got a little shaky, and they wouldn't listen to me when I told them, no, I'm okay, I don't need help. Even though, generally if you're having a seizure, you're not able to, verbalize a sentence like that. People can be dumb, and people cannot understand. So it's just a tool that I found useful. And here's the thing about this. I'm not being overly dependent on my friends. I'm not putting extra pressure on them. They're just being my friends. We have to meet up somewhere. We have to, you know what I mean? I'm not demanding that they do extra things. It's just by their presence, they're protecting me. And it's not about them saying anything. It's not about them doing anything. It's just about them already knowing what my symptoms are like, accepting them, and when they get symptomatic, not freaking out, as they know they don't need to do. And that just sends the signal to the people around us that, no, she's okay. She doesn't need our help. So I just wanted to share that because it's something I found to be a really useful tool. And it's, again, something that you can utilize whether you're on your own or with company. This isn't about expecting your friends to rescue you. This is about knowing a psychological aspect of how people are and using it to your advantage. So if you're in a situation like me where you've got a sometimes visible condition, or if you're in a situation, or if you are managing something that can get misunderstood at times, if you're managing anxiety issues and feel like, I just wish I had a little extra support, one way to do that is to be a friendly, outgoing person, and be friendly with the people near you, so that even if you're traveling alone, you kind of have a bit of a connection with somebody else nearby. And if you do have to deal with something related to your condition, that person near you may be able to help dissipate the worst of the tension. Or when you're going out with friends, communicate some of that to your friends, or make plans so that they meet you before you hit the stress. And make it a fun thing, if we're going to a concert, why don't we meet up before the concert and, do whatever, and then go to the concert together. Or let's help each other get ready and then go to the event. Or, you know what I mean? But just something where they're with you when the stress is the highest, or they're They're there to deflect others' assumptions when you need that. I've got a whole post on this, but I just thought it was a good thing for people to think about, especially if you're working on feeling better about going out and are anxious about your symptoms getting in the way, or are anxious about people misinterpreting your body or your behaviors or your symptoms. It can really, really help to have somebody who gets it with you without having any extra expectations on them. And again, if your friend's happy to do a little extra thing, that's fine. It's just feeling needy isn't a nice feeling, and feeling like your friends have to be more than just your friends can feel bad. So I'm saying this isn't being needy, this isn't being demanding, this isn't, this isn't a negative thing. It's simply a self-defense that you can use, and something that doesn't cost your friends anything. All right? So I hope you find this helpful, and I will catch you guys later, and whatever else you're doing in life, keep moving forward so you can keep thriving.